Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today looking at new features that Star Citizen has planned with Alpha 3.7 and the start of gathering and harvesting beyond that of the mining in the Prospector. This new gameplay is not gated for mining ships and can be done by everyone on foot, or at least some of it can. There's also refueling in ships and that sort of thing as well. Caves are a major new point of interest in Star Citizen and are built with procedural parts like space stations. They will appear on planets and moons and will be dotted around like outposts. Within caves and on the surface of planets and moons as well as in asteroid fields, there will be the opportunities for FPS mining. In fact, in Alpha 3.7, it sees caves and various forms of harvesting added to the game. The personal commodity system allows players to pick up plants, drugs, minables, valuables, and more in their inventories. You'll hold F and use the inner thought system while you're in FPS walking around on foot, and you'll be able to literally then interact with a menu that will allow you to drop items that you've picked up or combine everything that you've got picked up that's not a weapon or a usable item that we currently have in game, like a med pen or ammo or pistol or whatever. You don't want to put those in the boxes, but you can put everything else like random items you found, plants, fruit, that sort of stuff. You can put that all into a single cargo box, and that is then placed at your feet, and then that can be placed into the cargo grid of a ship and will be detected by kiosks that you can then sell those items to. They can even be picked up by other players, those boxes. This gameplay is also supported by various other mechanics and planned features. The teams that were looking to work on salvage have been retasked to close out the full refueling gameplay loop, or a full refueling gameplay loop, I should probably say. Fuel harvesting is supposed to be the Starfarer gathering fuel from appropriate gas clouds. There is a refining process that the Starfarer at some point will be able to do to make that gas cloud fuel that it's gathered up into usable fuel. It's also worth pointing out here that ships with fuel intakes will be able to regenerate or gather some fuel, not a huge amount, while they are travelling in space, so that they can recharge their hydrogen fuel or common fuel. This is something that is in the game now, but it does need to be more fleshed out. The whole fuel system needs to be a lot more fleshed out and thought out. Its costs to ships for like running them, that sort of stuff. How easy is it for them to gather fuel? Are there areas that are going to be a lot better for gathering fuel? After fuel is harvested, it will be sellable at certain locations, at least when you're in a Starfarer harvesting fuel. There are some unknowns about the first implementation of this system as well, though. Will it include the ability to refine fuel from the Starfarer at this stage? If so, will you have gameplay for that, or will it just have like a time associated to be refined after you've gathered it? Does fuel need to be refined to be sold, or can you sell both unrefined and refined fuel? Are there other types of gas that you can mine that are valuable that isn't fuel? At this stage, will there be gameplay to allow for the transfer of fuel to another ship? Most likely not from the Starfarer, admittedly, but it's a possibility. Most importantly, though, is how will the fuel harvesting mechanic work? Again, the expectation for this type of gathering job is that there's going to be many similarities with it to mining. Scan an area to detect if there's any appropriate gases or liquids, travel close, and then scan in a bit more detail the sort of like gas or liquid that you've approached, and then gather it. I'm not entirely sure how the Starfarer intends to gather. Maybe it sort of like sucks the gas in to an extent, or maybe it just flies through the gas or liquids or whatever it wants to gather to be able to then store them. One of the other things that this brings to the game is new cargo to haul in the forms of gases and liquids. At this stage, though, it is possible that the Starfarer will be the only ship that can take that type of cargo until new standardized cargo containers are made for all ships to carry it in their cargo bays. So eventually you could have containers for gases and liquids that could attach to the hull C or be put in the cargo bay of another ship. Quantum fuel mining and harvesting is a different beast altogether, though, when compared to the standard hydrogen or common fuel that ships will be using when not quantum travelling. A few months ago, March 31st, 2019, Chris Roberts posted some info on quantum drives and quantum fuel and quantum matter, of which I will read the relevant sections. We don't have it in-game yet, but our plan is to allow players to harvest and mine quantum matter. This would be different than collecting reticular thruster fuel, which is accomplished by scooping up various gases. Dense inert ones would be best from atmospheres or space clouds and nebula. Quantum matter would likely be quite hard to find, dangerous to mine, and very valuable. Mining quantum matter will be part of the harvestable entities work that we have planned for Q2 and may come online with Q3's fuel work. The Starfarer will be able to transport and deliver refuel in flight both regular thruster propellant and quantum matter. It will also be able to refine quantum matter into quantum fuel. The only aspect not decided is the mining aspect, as we really don't want to make the Starfarer a heavy-duty mining ship, but it's likely we will have some smaller equipment, like a handheld mining device, to allow you to EVA out and collect quantum matter, but we haven't decided this just yet. So more recently, they said for the release of the Q3 build, Alpha 3.7, it didn't make sense to implement caves without gameplay, so we've tasked the team that was working on salvage with creating FPS mining and quantum fuel mining. We know the teams working on FPS mining are also working on quantum fuel mining, so it's expected that quantum fuel will be something, or quantum matter will be something mineable by hand, and probably via ship later. Possibly the Prospector may be able to mine quantum matter if it's solid, which I'm assuming it is. I'm assuming it's not a liquid, though it could still be something that requires special FPS gear beyond that of just an attachment for the mining tool. Will you be able to immediately then sell it to kiosks, or do you have to refine it from the Starfarer? We just don't know yet. However, if it's planned for 3.7, then it should be part of the FPS mining and cave system and stored in your personal commodity inventory. That makes the most sense anyway. These fuel mechanics are currently expected to come online between 3.7 and 3.9, as they're all supposed to be coming before salvage, and salvage is now on the roadmap for 4.0. Obviously, stuff does change though, and a lot of this stuff is likely to come in 3.7. Caves are an exciting addition to points of interest that will be used for mission locations, areas to explore, locations for harvestables and minables. You'll see NPCs there too. To start with, there will be enemies in some of these, probably in a similar way as we see in underground bunkers. Later, there are plans to have neutral or non-enemy NPCs there, so like mission givers, different factions there. Those are all things that could potentially be present at those sites. Caves are going to be one of the more prime locations for FPS mining. FPS mining will have players using the multi-tool and an attachment, I suspect they're both purchasable separately, to extract harvestables from valuable deposits. This could range from very valuable new commodities like quantum matter to less valuable ones, to maybe diamonds and rare minerals and things that would otherwise not be obtainable even via the Prospector. We should see these systems and features evolve over the next few quarterly updates. There are limits to what a player can carry as well, but it appears once you put it in a cargo box, which you can do at a touch of a button, then you can continue to gather. At least that's how the system appears to me. We don't know how valuable materials will be that you pick up, how much you could potentially make from gathering these for a long period of time. We do know that eventually these are planned to have more uses than to just sell. Some of these items are going to be edible, and this is going to be part of the player status system, because you're going to be thirsty and hungry in game. But it's also potentially going to have sort of like other drug effects, and it's possible that maybe some of these items are going to be used for science mechanics or farming. There are also going to be animals eventually that are likely to want to eat and interact with some of these harvestables like fruit on trees and stuff like that as part of their schedules too. But that's obviously a little further off. The start of harvesting and gathering in Alpha 3.7 in this way, though, is extremely exciting for me. It's an important part of economy and exploration, giving players reasons to go out and explore, gather, interact, and fight. I suspect that these new items will be able to be picked up by ship scanners when in the cargo bay of another ship, so you'll have potentially some of these items that you've harvested may be against the law in certain areas and might be seen as narcotics, or items that can be confiscated or you potentially get a fine or criminal rating for, or some might be so valuable that pirates will come after you for them. But we don't know whether these boxes would count as stolen items if taken by another player, or if they will be freely sellable. It'll be very interesting to see. I do want to know more about the quantum matter and quantum fuel plans. Does that mean that the Starfarer and its crew will have to go out and fly off the ship to mine quantum matter by hand, to gather it, to then put it in the Starfarer in some fashion so that it can then refine it into quantum fuel? I am a bit disappointed by salvage mechanics getting moved back again, but it is to get other mechanics in-game that I wanted so it's a mixed bag there. But what do you think? How developed will gathering and harvesting be in Alpha 3.7? Will quantum matter be a solid thing that you have to mine by hand, or do you think the Prospector will be able to find it and eventually the Orion will be able to nom through it in giant fields? Or will it also be mineable by the Starfarer even? There are a lot of questions for these mechanics still for me, some of which should be answered in the next few weeks. I would, however, love to hear your thoughts. Chuck them in the comments below, whatever they are. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For September 2019, it's for an Anvil Carrack, the mighty exploration ship. It is being donated by the organisation Ultra. They are a chaotic, neutral, multi-role org where they encourage their members to focus on their speciality and find their speciality, and they provide them the freedom to play however they want. In Ultra, you're not just another drone, you become part of a family is the idea. Links below to check them out. They are recruiting. To be in for a chance of winning that ship, just comment on any of my videos made during September though. A random comment will be chosen as the winner. More details below. I am also shilling for NordVPN and Shadow gaming PCs, so use the code BoredGamer for discounts there. NordVPN, in a world of censorship and privacy issues, VPNs allow you to browse the net and play games in more safety. NordVPN has many benefits over free VPNs, and that's why I shill for it. Some of you also might be interested in Shadow cloud gaming stuff. This allows you an alternative to sort of like buying and maintaining your own gaming PC. You can stream a custom Windows 10 environment to devices like your phone, a laptop, or a crappier, lesser PC, and bam, it's fantastically powerful and it's maintained and hardware is regularly updated for you. It's a fantastic service, Shadow. Cloud gaming certainly has quite a big future ahead of it. If you'd like to further support my channel, please consider subscribing, sharing this video, ringing the YouTube bell so you get notifications when a video goes live. This is a channel that is funded by the community via donations, Patreon members, YouTube members, and anyone else that wants to get involved with comments and helping. Thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile. Take care, and I will see you in the verse.